Things did not look good for the Capitals after 2 games. Facing a 0-2 series hole after losing both games in Washington, it looked like it could be an early summer. The Caps were going to be the first team to ever lose a series in the playoffs to the Columbus Blue Jackets. How did the Caps win their series against Columbus? Find out here. But the Caps rallied. Washington won the next 4 games and turned what looked like it would be another postseason disaster into a postseason triumph. Only once in franchise history had the Caps rallied from a 0-2 deficit, and only once had the Caps won 4 straight games to win a series. They managed both against the Blue Jackets. Here's how the Caps were able to rally to a first-round victory over Columbus. The Capitals and Penguins face off in the 2018 NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs Eastern Conference semifinals, marking the 3rd consecutive season the 2 Metro Division rivals have met in the playoffs. The Capitals have beaten the Penguins in a playoff series just once in 10 attempts dating back to 1991, and all 5 of the Penguins' Stanley Cup championships included series wins over Washington. The Capitals and Penguins split the regular season series 2-2, with both teams picking up wins at home and on the road. The Capitals outscored the Penguins 13-12 over the course of the 4 regular season games. The Capitals vs. Penguins 2018 NHL Playoff Series will begin on Thursday, April 24th at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Puck drop is scheduled for 7 p.m. ET. Pre-game coverage of the Capitals vs. Penguins on NBC Sports Washington begins an hour before puck drop, with Caps face-off followed by Caps Game Time. Caps Extra follows each playoff game, with Caps Overtime after that. Stream pre- and post-game coverage of Capitals vs. Penguins Game 1 on NBC Sports Washington. Game 2 information has yet to be released. Capitals vs. Penguins 2018 NHL Playoff Schedule Game 1, Penguins at Capital State, Thursday, April 26, time, 7 p.m. At location, Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. TV channel, NBC Sports Network channel finder, how to watch live streaming, NBC Sports app live stream radio, Capitals Radio Network, 1500 AM, Game 2, Penguins at Capital State, TBD time, TBD location, Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. TV channel, TBD, channel finder, how to watch live streaming, NBC Sports app live stream radio, Capitals Radio Network, 1500 AM, Game 3, Capitals at Penguins State, TBD time, TBD location, PPG Paints Arena, Pittsburgh, Penn. TV channel, TBD, channel finder, how to watch live streaming, NBC Sports app live stream radio, Capitals Radio Network, 1500 AM, Game 4, Capitals at Penguins State, TBD time, TBD location, PPG Paints Arena, Pittsburgh, Penn. TV channel, TBD, channel finder, how to watch live streaming, NBC Sports app live stream radio, Capitals Radio Network, 1500 AM, Game 5, if necessary, Penguins at Capital State, TBD time, TBD location, Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. TV channel, NBC, channel finder, how to watch live streaming, NBC Sports app live stream radio, Capitals Radio Network, 1500 AM, Game 6, if necessary, Capitals at Penguins State, TBD time, TBD location, PPG Paints Arena, Pittsburgh, Penn. TV channel, TBD, channel finder, how to watch live streaming, NBC Sports app live stream radio, Capitals Radio Network, 1500 AM, Game 7, if necessary, Penguins at Capital State, TBD time, TBD location, Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. TV channel, TBD, channel finder, how to watch live streaming, NBC Sports app live stream radio, Capitals Radio Network, 1500 AM. Whenever a playoff series ends, the analysis begins soon after. Why did this team win? Why did this team lose? Why did this player perform while this one did not? This is an exercise performed by media, players and coaches alike, especially for teams that walk away from a series believing they let an opportunity slip away. The Columbus Blue Jackets fell to the Washington Capitals in 6 games despite taking a 2-0 series lead by winning both opening games in Washington. Head coach John Tortorella will have all summer to think about what he could have done differently and what went wrong for his team, but it sounds like he already has at least one theory as to why they lost. In a series that featured 4 overtime games, Game 4 stands out as being far more one-sided than the others. Washington turned in the most dominant performance of the series in a 4-1 win that knotted the teams at 2 wins apiece. That game stood out to Tortorella too, and he thinks he knows why the Blue Jackets laid an egg that night: travel. I think we should have stayed in Washington after that second overtime game, the second game there, Tortorella said. I think that comes back and gets you later on in the series. We should have stayed in Washington and let them get a good night's sleep. They got in here so late. I don't think it affected us in Game 3. It comes the next days, so that falls on me. When analyzing why the Caps won the series, chances are travel is not going to be a reason many people consider. Perhaps there is some merit to this. After all, as the father of an infant, I can certainly vouch for how much of a difference one good night of sleep can make. But perhaps there is another message being sent here by Tortorella. Tortorella is a master at using the media to his advantage. He uses the media to send messages to his team or draw attention on himself and away from the players. Tortorella just saw his young team give up a 2-0 series lead and lose 4 straight games. Those are the kind of losses that can stick with a player and create doubt in the mind of a team the next time they reach a tough spot in the postseason. So what did Tortorella do? He came out and put the worst loss of the series on his own shoulders. Why was it his fault? Travel? Yeah, let's go with travel. The Blue Jackets are not the first team to play overtime on the road or the first team to deal with travel concerns. To hear a coach say it was a reason they lost a game and not even the next game after the travel? Well, that's a first. Related links.